mention, but there were so many nights that I came home smelling like tortilla chips and salsa, and having worked in that awful, awful kitchen, I think I capture the sense of what it's like. I mean, it's not awful in that it's unclean. It's fine, and the food there is great. I'm not I'm just saying it's hard work. And if you've ever had to work over a giant boiling vat of tripe for menudo, you'll never forget it. Yeah. Text.
Interested in character development. Did you have these characters fairly well etched before you began, or is there a sense in which they wrote themselves as you?
I think it was a little bit of both. One of the things I read during the writing of this that really helped me define them later in the book was I read that when you're writing a novel, you should go through magazines and pull out a picture of somebody of what you imagine your character to look like, and write characteristics. Interview that character, and so that way when you go to write about them, if you can't remember if you've said their eyes are blue or green or if their hair is long or short, you open up your character book and you go, that's what you look like, and these are the things you like, and these are the silly expressions you say, this is your favorite food, and that sort of thing. So that really helped, that little tidbit. I've actually come to a lot of writers' workshops here at Changing Hands, and they've been very helpful as well. So, JT.
Are you going to be available for signing names?
Yeah, that's next, I think, which is crazy. Okay, I've got 5 minutes. Anybody else? Samuel?
Can you talk a little bit about because obviously you said the first 111 pages were about, this is what's wrong and this needs to be changed, but yet the second half is all about how much you love of the country, and charm's not the right word, but there's a certain charm that comes along with being a broken nation. What, in your mind, does a fixed Mozambique look like?
A fixed Mozambique looks like little girls who get to go to school, number one, first and foremost. As soon as all children in that school are able to go to free school through 8th grade and are able to read and write, the economy of that country will improve overnight. And until the Mozambican officials make a commitment to that, that country is doomed. Because as long as you keep children, especially the girls, in the village doing hard labor that stunts their growth, that keeps them illiterate, you're going to have an unhealthy class. And they'll never get anywhere. And if you look at other African countries that have been colonial and have come out of that and are successful or becoming successful financially, it's because they keep their kids in school and they've made a commitment to it. And I think that and infrastructure. Mozambique was in a brutal civil war for a very long time, so it's one of the most landmine countries in the world. So it's very rural. You have all these people who live in teeny tiny huts, and cyclones hit. Landscape-wise, it's a lot like Louisiana. The water table is really low, and it gets hit by cyclones every year. So if you can imagine, they'll just get all of the landmines in one area plotted out, which takes forever, so they can be removed, and a cyclone will hit, and the landmines move. And then cows and children start blowing up, because the area they once thought was safe is now no longer safe. And so if the kids were not running around in the fields and they were at school, that would be fantastic. And just basic infrastructure things again. I really think, and I should definitely say this as well, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, I feel like we hear about occasionally on NPR as sponsors of things, and we don't really see them at work in our community. They are doing amazing work in Africa. Mozambicans receive free antiretrovirals because of Bill and Melinda Gates. And those drugs will extend their lives 20 years. So if you can take someone who has HIV and you can give them an extra 20 years of their life, they can get their kids up. They can raise their children. They can help their children move on and be trained and to do something rather than leaving them as orphans. So there is a lot of hope in Mozambique as well. And I would love to see more children in that country in school and all sleeping under mosquito nets. Madison.
Did you do any work when you were in Mozambique? Work in the field or?
No, I did not work in any fields. I will tell you, one of my favorite stories of Mozambique is, I was doing a lot of the public health work that I was talking about, where I was going from, examining houses and talking to people. One of my favorite stories, that I will never forget this day for as long as I live. I had a 2-hour block of time that was just me time, and it was in the middle of the day, so I could be by myself, and I love to run. So I put on this running outfit, I put on a tank top and running shorts and my running shoes, and I put on my iPhone, or iPod, thank you, and I was like, I'm just going to go for a run. And I got outside, and it was like one little kid. 2 little kids, 3 little kids. And then before I know it, I'm having this Indiana Jones moment where I'm running and there are these children who are just running after me. And I found an old railway line, and so I was running down this railway track and there was just stream of kids running behind me. And I'm like, where is Nike? This is a Nike ad. This is so awesome. I will never forget that day. And at the end, like I sat down and I was passing around my earbuds and they're all putting they're looking at the thing, trying to figure out how music is coming out of this, which is so cool. So it was a really neat day. Yeah. Okay, well, thank you again for coming. If you want to have a good time.